struggling that a little bit more. And also, I believe previously they'd actually not played the Viper as well. So this is actually drastic.
Yeah, this is one of the points that we were criticizing, and I think just in general from the broadcast, from the desk, from the casters, was not playing a Viper on Icebox. Big mistake a lot of that time. But coming into the map, we will see that for Crazy Raccoons, and let's see how that plays out for them. Starting on the defensive side, we've already had a bit of a scuffle down towards B long, but immediately afterwards, X10 are shifting their focus, moving to the A site with a little bit of a lurk. A sneaky beaky play coming in courtesy of Patapan on that signature jet. He's hearing the steps, he hears the rotations, but he also knows that there's a turret in play here. Perhaps a cloudburst on top of it to sneak on through. We'll see exactly what he decides to do as the A side is under threat and being overrun. The cage, the cam, and Sushi Boy wants to make a big play. Let's see if he can do anything. Oh, this is going to potentially be huge. I thought he was going through the cage off the cam, but no, instead he's going to tuck in because they've already got the opening duel.
He's managed to bypass the turret completely. They even know he's here, but it just doesn't matter. It's going to be a couple of kills off the backlines, and Scary to close it out as well. The patience of Patapan will be enough in this round for them to actually take the close. And, well, the start that they were looking for once again, I think that's them just basically rocking it in almost every single pistol so far.
This has overall been an interesting pistol, let's say. I think the main point for me is Patapan. I'm fairly certain that they had actually seen him with the turret even, because there was a moment where one of the players turned and looked behind, but then his teammate called, "I'm watching it, don't worry, like I've got it." So he pushed into main instead, but those duels were just lost one after another. And with Scary having a perfectly placed snake bite, it's so easy on a pistol round. When somebody's hit by that snake bite and you've got a ghost up close, easiest round of your life.
I'm definitely keeping my eyes on Crows here, because I think this is one of the maps that we really don't see much breach whatsoever. Like it's a bit of an odd choice, especially because of how sort of open some of the sites are. Getting that utility really being put to use, I think, will be quite difficult, but I'm definitely interested to see how he makes it work. And that's the thing. It's going to be something a lot of teams won't have played against before, because it just isn't common at all. Now, it is going to be this execution once again. Something we've seen quite a lot from them is these deeper walls. Give them a bit of extra space, clear out some of the closer angles before they get themselves the plant. And Scary will do just that.
Oh, that's so nasty. Zephyr able to force a close range duel, grabbing himself the kill, and Scary in a bit of trouble in those close range fights, but Patapan's here to save the day. Even goes up for more, in for 4, looking for the ace, but he's taken down by Munchkin eventually. Absolutely farming as he walks away with Blade Storm out of this round. Munchkin does regen up his health. He picks up a Spectre, so not the worst round overall. If he can get another kill, that would be amazing. But ultimately, time is going to be very low. Winning the round is next to impossible, and he will just be sideswiped by Crows. As a really interesting point as well, Tom, because the Sova and the Sky combination is very strong and very highly regarded, at least within the European region, by the majority of teams. If not both, then at least one. And certainly Sky as a flasher and information seeker is huge right now. So there must be something unique, a unique spin that Crows, or at least X10, have seen with this breach. And we'll be keeping a very close eye on exactly how that's utilized coming throughout this game.
I think especially going into A-site execution, like maybe just the denial of space for teams, especially on the defensive side, could be quite interesting. Now, I'm going to have to shut up and stop theorizing, because Patapan, well, he doesn't have any breaks. He's just going to go running straight in. He's actually got a Bucky as the combo as well. Like, I both love and hate this man at the same time, because it just seems like he's running all of those old weapons, all of those guns that maybe necessarily shouldn't work. They are going to get a very easy plant once again, though, and it's going to come down to a full retake from Crazy Raccoon, and they have no flank. This is coming all directly from the same angle.
The bonus round for X10, one where they shouldn't be doing nearly as much damage in terms of the early round impact of just getting the site and now setting themselves up for close range duels. That's where things like the Bucky can get a lot of value. Ooh, Patapan, he almost goes down on his way out, but he'll survive just a few seconds longer as Zephyr takes him out. Here we go with the spike being diffused. The denial comes in with utility, and Scary in a 1 versus 3 actually actually has the potential to deny this even further. Down comes the snake bite, the orb is up, and they can't get the defuse. The time is too low. He's actually won the round. He's got 3 kills, and the spike explosion confirms that a third round is there for X10. What a phenomenal clutch by Scary, and proving yet again, Viper in post plants is a scary thing to deal with.
Yeah, an incredible play as well. And it's something that we've seen so often, the Red Bull clutch coming through for Scary. And the problem is, like, this has to be something that you're aware of, especially after the first one comes in. You need to be closing him down. I guess the kill onto Zephyr just denied any chance of that. And, well, we're seeing once again that it seems like in all of these clutch situations, in all of these close rounds, it's just X10 coming out on top. And that's another round where they've managed to close out the bonus. Worth mentioning as well that they have actually won every single pistol so far in this series. So getting off to a flying start each time.
Yeah, they're really propelling themselves into the lead in the impacted pistol rounds in MR12. If you're able to follow up, of course. If you lose a force buy right after, it's not so much. That shock dart is interesting because it's come in from the defenders, possibly not hitting the mark that they expected it to. Neth, nonetheless, is still able to do some damage, some serious damage, in fact, taking down Sushi Boys before the trade is eventually there. The man advantage now resides with Crazy Raccoons, and Medusa, well, he's not happy with just that, but a whiffed shot. It pulls X10 back into the lead in a ranged fight. Vandal versus Sheriff. Well, that is a predictable victor who comes away with it. Zephyr hasn't been spotted. That's a free kill. Okay, now we're down to a 2 versus 2. The flash comes out, but doesn't receive much. Inside of the Viper's pit, they are safe to get this plant, but they're scared. They're scared of Rion dropping right on top of them and dealing with them right away, and instead they'll walk out of the pit backwards into the Sheriff, and Rion very nearly whiffs that one completely, walking away with the kill, but so too does Crows, and the rotate to B is going to be treacherous. Zephyr is already on his way, but he doubles back. He's going to instead go below the tube. It costs him an extra couple of seconds. He won't be there in time to deny the plant, but perhaps to catch him on the way back. No, just a second too late. He knows he's up above. He heard the rope, and there we go. Zephyr gets it done just about. Good rotation by him and good patience to not feel baited in to making an overly aggressive play, pulling it 3-1. Crazy Raccoon's first round on the board at last.
Yeah, and a big gamble from them in the early setup. We can already see, like, with the A-site defense, 3 players there ready and waiting. Neff is someone as well that I've been impressed with, even just going back through into some of the more regional stuff. I think he's someone who's excellent at just isolating individual duels. His positioning seems to be on point in the majority of cases. And while Zephyr with the knives, you're going to expect him to at least get a kill or 2. Of course, on the other side of things now, though, X10, it's not bad. Like, they've still got an investment, of course. Crow's going to drop down a little bit just to make sure he can have all of that extra utility. And they do have themselves the ultimate as well. So still a chance for them to try and steal this one back. I am looking at Zephyr, though, because what this man can do with the operator could be enough to shut this down.
Oh, it definitely could be. We've seen it in the past. Starting it out, an operator shot rings through, but no kill on the board. Medusa forced into the open, now 27 HP, and they still check the corner despite the aftershock already clearing it. This is a little bit tough. Patapan drops down from above again, an op shot ringing, but no connection. And I'm starting to get a little bit worried. It looks like Crazy Raccoons will have to play a retake on this one, and if they push on through, Patapan's position will almost certainly catch them off guard. Odd that he has a Guardian in this spot, but hey, if it works, it works. And let's see if it does. They're baiting it out. They suspect he could be close and now dealt with. The man advantage comes back toward them for just a second. Oh my God, Crows. That was nasty with the headshots. And now they have the advantage. It looks like they have the round. Neth again needs a double. The first goes his way, but Scary saves the day. 4-1. Chaining rounds together seems impossible for Crazy Raccoons.
Yeah, this is just turning into an A-site simulator again. Something we saw in the very early days of this map is just teams just constantly pushing and pressuring. And to be honest, in most cases at the moment, we are seeing Crazy Raccoon just crumble under this pressure. Now, I would say, Mitch, I do still expect both teams to pull off more rounds when it comes to that attacking side. So I'm not overly worried for them just yet, but there needs to be some sort of adaptation, some sort of resurgence, because even when they're putting 3 players there, they're still losing a lot of those battles.
Yeah, that's very true. And that cannot be the case moving forward. I mean, you're going to walk away with a handful of rounds at best if things keep up the way that they are. And for X10, they're not looking for one weakness that they can exploit again and again. They don't want to make this easy for Crazy Raccoons to adjust to. And so instead, they're going to move towards the B site. But remember, this is where there was a decent bit of impact with weaker weapons. We saw a couple of kills, most notably Zephyr down below in the tube. And X10, they've taken ranged fights. They've lost a player right away. And now they're stalling. They're slowing it down. They're looking to try and really make the range work for them. But so far, nothing's going their way. Crazy Raccoons are avoiding making the same mistakes they did previously of just massively overextending into these unfavorable duels.
And they've also got an awful lot of ultimates here. Lockdown, Hunter's Fury, Viper's Pit, even a Res if they need it. So this is a round that, sure, economically, they're not in a great spot. Not many credits. But they could still make things painful and maybe even steal it. Now, this fake has been sold fantastically well by Fox. There's absolutely no one on a gamble in the rotations from Crazy Raccoon. And instead, they're going to have to face off against this after plant. Nice shot, though, from Rion. That's scary gone. And now this becomes a real possibility as that after plant is nowhere near as strong. The only thing they have to deal with is going to be Sova.
Now, there's definitely a possibility, Fox unable to connect it in the back lines, and here comes the Hunter's Fury, a free kill, but they know exactly what they're doing. Sticking it halfway, now it's time to get on it yet again, and it looks like it's theirs. Well handled by Crazy Raccoons. They're not afraid to lose a weapon or two, to lose a player, as long as they win the round. And Neth, well, he even makes it more costly and hurt that little bit extra, taking down 4 players in the end. And X10, well, they won't be walking away with a smile on their face after that one.
Yeah, I'm almost starting to wonder for Crazy Raccoon, the same that we said on the last map, if they do need to start being a little bit more proactive, because that is twice now where we've seen them catch the rotations, get all of that earlier info, gamble into some of the sites, and just take some fairly big risks because they're playing with the pistols. And it works. Like, it works well. They win that round with very, very little invested. They actually only ended up using one of the ultimates that they had as well. So they still have a lot stacked up going forward into this one. Now, Zephyr, I think he might have heard my call a little bit. Looking to try and take some of that early control. Go for a bit of an early peek. But on the other side, it looks like a slow walk into B, and there's not really anybody spotting.
Yeah, they're not going to make the same noise that they did previously, completely giving away the game plan, instead creeping up on Rion. And looks like he was asleep at the wheel. Patapan is the one to take him down with a wallbang headshot. I mean, a toe shot would have done it. He was so low on HP. The recon deep won't get anything. They've already backed off. They'll destroy it anyways, but it would have seen next to nothing. And I like this. Cruz just waiting to pop this flash as they come on through that Viper wall, or as it fades down. This is really good. They're probably going to pop it up and peek on through with a flash in hand, but the wall is in play. Here comes the Viper's Pit. It's already halfway stuck. They're going to get it the full way and win the round out. Another one taken out from underneath X10's nose. That has got to hurt. These ninja diffuses are actually sick, and one of the downsides of not burning your opponent's utility in the early rounds is how much they have to work with when they come in for the retakes.
Yeah, that's what we've seen, actually, is the sort of adaptation is that, okay, we don't need to use all of this utility in these fakes, and wow. Zephyr, it seems like he's coming into his own a little bit. We need to see the stars step up for Crazy Raccoon as well. Now, in terms of investment, the operator's going to be back in his hands. We are starting to see some fairly impactful ultimates on the other side of things as well, though. The Blade Storm for Patapan if he needs it. The Rolling Thunder as well, which we've already seen utilized to try and clear the site. And I actually think the Crow's utility so far, just for clearing out some of the angles, popping players into position, it's been fairly decent. I can see the theory behind it. Oh, what is...
Yeah, I mean, between Net's double kill in the previous round and Patapan there. Oh, and Patapan here as well, just rushing forward, really applying pressure on another level, but he gets punished for it. The Blade Storm popped, and so too is he. Taking out Sushi Boy up above, jumping, and Medusa punishes it. Oh, he's just getting free kills now. They're trying to play super confident and aggressive, and it isn't working out. Well, it was on everyone except for Medusa. He seems to be the kryptonite to this kind of play. And now X10, okay, they've got control, but where do they go with it? It looks like Fox is going to create a little bit of space by pushing down through Tube, and a long rotation will take place to the B site, where they currently, and from the start of the round, have their Viper wall in play. But it won't really be necessary if Fox is able to shut them down on the rotate.
He's in such a strong position, giving his teammates the chance to take the site almost for free. They're going to hear the plant, but they don't know that he's in such an aggressive spot, and actually looks to continue this, almost just baiting them in to fight him while he just falls back and makes sure his teammates are kept safe. They've also got the Viper's Pit, which makes this retake all the more impossible, especially when you have an operator. Like, you'd have to hit a 1 in a million shot to catch a player through this. Luckily, we are seeing the comeback of Medusa. A pretty slow game from thus far, but 3 kills already in this round.
Well, there's the possibility. Maybe he'll take it all the way. Zephyr's not in the best spot. Well, when he's shot in the back, it's a little bit worse. Medusa, look at the decay. He's taking so much of it as he walks out and barely misses Scary, who gets the perfect timing on him. This is getting tough. You know, Crazy Raccoons, that round right there looked like they had it or looked like it was going to X10. Medusa pulls off a great 2 and then 3K, and it's like, okay, you know what? They can take it. But obviously retaking into a Viper's Pit with an operator especially, you're basically not in the round. Like, pending no huge mistakes of your opponents, you're already out of that one. And, well, when you're shot in the back like that, it seals your fate pretty quickly.
It's going to be another on the board. I am enjoying these sort of like late round rotations. As I said, that was one of the main things I was critical of this X10 roster previously, was when it came down to their mid rounds, they just seemed to make big mistakes, give away advantages, and almost just hand kills back over to Vikings. In this case, though, they've actually had some solid rotations back. I will say the early stages of the last round are some of the weirdest kills I've ever seen, like the jump across to the site, a player getting killed stuck on the zip line, just going across. I'm not sure that Munchkin's going to be too happy about that one. Well, we haven't said too much about him in this game so far. We talked about him as one of the highlight players. We know his raise is always pretty impactful. But so far, his Sage has been a little bit more silent.
Yeah, definitely a quieter game in that regard. We'll see if he's able to pull it off. We definitely know he's capable coming into the future. I like those wall bangs coming on in. And what a timing as well for it, you know, spamming through, getting your frags, and pushing them off. They don't even get the spike planted. X10 are sat there wondering what is going on, as they have to now rotate or commit to a site where there's pistols up close, ready to decimate them. Sushi Boys gets caught trying to rotate through middle. This is tough. This is a really tough round now to play out for X10, because they've got no information, but more importantly, Tom, they've got no time. 20 seconds. It's time to go.
And it looks like the rotation as well from Crazy Raccoon is almost spot on. They've got the whole team here, the whole crew just rolling around. And Medusa, he's just going to deck 2 with the pistol. How did they do this? Is that 3 out of their 4 rounds now that they've won with pistols? I don't know. What's the point? Why are they buying?
Just save your money, man. Just save it.
Get the judge.
Get the judge. Oh, stop. Stop. Come on. No, it's all about the sheriff. And that's been the name of the game. It comes down to Crazy Raccoon so far. Pistol play. And Medusa as well. He's had a couple of really, really good rounds. I also like that finisher there by Munchkin. He really brings out the play that we saw him. We saw his Sage for on Ascent on the previous day, where he's just like walling up and running at them. But he's doing it much less here. A much more comfortable overall position. Much more passive, I suppose, really, when it comes down to his play, and perhaps just giving X10 a lot of respect so far, especially with the way that we've seen Scary and Patapan play these early duels.
We are going to see X10 calling attack. You might be thinking that, okay, 5-4, not a bad scoreline, but with the way the economy's going, with the way that they're losing a lot of these, like, I would say poor anti-eco rounds, and not really trading too effectively, and just taking risks in individual duels that I just don't think they need to be making when they have such a weaponry advantage. Also, by the looks of it, I know we sort of spoke about like the Cypher, like maybe not needing that Sage wall. The amount of kills that they are now losing or failing with those plants, I think it's been an issue. And I do think that being on that attack side, having that extra Sage wall available to you just to try and deny those pistols from doing any damage, I think it could have changed some of the rounds.
Yeah, no, most definitely. And you know, realistically, the funniest thing about this for me is that X10 are able to come back into rounds where they're down and out in the start. They're finding these trades that are going towards Crazy Raccoons. And when it comes to rounds that they should be closing out, like almost definitely, like versus Pistols, for example, they are incapable. That's the really strange thing. And I think, honestly, perhaps they're providing or giving a little bit too much respect to their opponents when they're on those Pistols, in that they're trying to play it like a buy round. They're trying to play much more like, you know, wall off B, go up, wall it, and pop your plant. But that's where the Pistols will take these crazy risks and go for aggressive peaks. In this early round, we saw an op peak attempted, not connected by Zephyr. But it's good info. They know there's players outside of A, and the Rolling Thunder actually connects to all 3 players. Oh! Boys able to catch a kill on the back of it. The walled up Munchkin gets nothing for his troubles. The Odin up close. Oh, God, Medusa. He almost got caught. This is looking a little bit scary, honestly, for the full bot side of Crazy Raccoons. Pistols are tearing them apart.
Spike down A.
He's gone back to himself. They've actually burnt out on ultimate as well. The lockdown being invested just to try and force Sushi Boy back. He's going to hit another one. His 3rd kill of the round with the Sheriff. Pistols really are king. He's going to go for the 4th. This is unbelievable. Down to the 1 versus 1 for Sushi Boys. Looking to try and get an extra round, and he's so close. The snap not quite there.
He hit him.
What an attempt.
He hit him. He put him down to 30 HP. Like,
oh,
that was disgusting. That was absolutely disgusting. Good use of the Rolling Thunder. We see that, you know, pulled out the early round. Catches Munchkin, who's up on top of his wall. Easy kill for Sushi Boys. From that point, okay.
What's the elbow?
So Medusa was already tagged up, hits him in the elbow. That's very unfortunate. It's not even due to the agent, it's due to the weapon he's holding. If he's not, if Medusa wasn't playing with an Odin, he would have gotten away with that. But his elbow's all the way back to facilitate that big chunky backside of the weapon. And the early round here, challenge towards B, you're actually going to see the stun straight off the bat. Fault line to push them back off the B control, and Viper, who's so strong at holding this, is actually completely deleted by just 1 piece of utility.
Again, we see a very early rotation coming in from Crazy Raccoon. 3 players already here on the site. If Rion actually gets away with that, but there's a shock dart from Foxes. Trades back thick and fast into this 3v3 situation. Neth lurking around the edge. And actually, there's been a crosser path. That is the spike going round behind him. This is all going to come down to timing. And Crows, he's found the kill. Sushi Boy's up there behind him. It's left all onto Zephyr. Well, they know exactly where he is. The neural theft gives him away, and I don't think he's going to attempt this.
I don't imagine so. That operator just a little bit too valuable coming into the final round of the half. And you can see that he's bailing. He's out of here. Understandably. This has been a very interesting game. I love the early peaks onto Rion. So we saw earlier, Patapan took a duel, finished Rion off with a Guardian, right? The wallbang headshot that he found. And we've seen that Recon consistently come in to reveal him on that back position. But the step-by-step stage of this round, X10, they used their stun. I think they used a flash as well, pushing Rion back to his secondary position, where they've already dealt with him a number of times. The same thing happens where Patapan crosses over yellow, pushes up to the opposite side of Snowman, and goes to take Rion down on the back side when he gets revealed. This time, Rion wins the duel, but there's a backup plan of a shock dart by Fox. And that's something that you've been referencing a lot, was the shock darts in particular that we would see in this matchup on Icebox, Tom. You were saying, at least off cam, that you were looking forward to a lot of what these teams can do with the shockies.
Well, yeah, no, I think as well that normally going on to the second half, Medusa is another player who has that. Now, he's had a bit of a rough game so far. I think on the defense as well, like, a lot of your shock darts are just going to be used to try and do some damage in the retakes or maybe a few early positions. But I'm loving all the utility they're using just to make every duel really awkward for Zephyr. I feel like he hasn't come into his own just yet, but there's a pick, giving them the man advantage back. Foxes is just running it, though. In fact, they've just running the gauntlet all the way. They've been spotting these early rotations, Mitch. And because of that, there's only one player defending.
Was he spotted? Oh, well, definitely now. They're taking the duel. The shock dart to come on through, deal serious damage to Neth, and Sushi Boy's ready to take another. The plant coming in, but Medusa's sneaking around the backside. That player was so low. If it wasn't for that drone, he could have wallbanged. He could have gotten the kill. But instead, these players, 30 and 78 on Sushi and Fox, are able to play a post plant. They're able to go back nice and passive and hopefully close out this final round with the man advantage they have, running down the clock. Crazy Raccoons have a Hunter's Fury to play with, and they might try to deny some space using it. Medusa, though, straight away, shutting them down. Fox with one, and now the time is theirs. Surely, look at the sneaky play by Sushi. Boys, he's already around, but he gives away his position. There's time here for Medusa, but now it ticks away too far. It's done, it's dusted. Medusa, 4 kills, but no chance he gets that defused.
He's at least gonna flex on us at the end, earn a few style points, and go down to the spike. But you know what? 7-5 half, and considering that Crazy Raccoons basically, what did they get? 1 buy round, maybe 2 at a push. I think they've actually done all right here. So 7-5, especially now going onto that attacking side, and I still feel like most teams on this map are very uncomfortable with defending that A site. I'm still yet to see like a consistent way to defend it. For example, you look at Sentinels, obviously one of the teams looking to take the entire tournament. They basically just go, okay, we're gonna put 10s there, and we're gonna put Shazam there, and they're going to kill everyone. And you know what? It's a pretty good strat. Like, those players playing unbelievably well so far in this tournament. But as an actual, like, setup, I've still not seen anything that massively impresses me.
I can see that. You know, I think realistically, when it comes to Crazy Raccoons, with rifles in their hands on the attack side, I think they're going to be a whole lot more comfortable. I think they're going to look better. I hope so. But, hey. Pistols have been their forte so far. They've got pistols to play with here. Moving in towards the B side on the pistol, it's going to be an easy plant. You're going to have that beautiful poison orb there to help out as well, and the sage wall blocking any spams from coming through. This is a pretty solid start. But how do they handle it now that X10 mounts a retake?
And looking to destroy the turret, but it's Zephyr to get the trade instead. Leaving things back into a 4v4, and so much counter utility just being put into this one. It's going to make things quite awkward. Rion still with a couple of snake bites available to him, but it's actually Crows. Just pushes straight through. Already starting to dominate, but there comes those ultipliers. I don't think it's going to do enough, though. They'll just defuse Rion a little bit too late with the snake bites, and that's enough for the pistol to be stolen away. The record, Mitch, is not getting any better. That is 4 for 4 now in X10 pistol rounds.
Yeah, when you pop down a snake bite without your poison orb up, you're not doing enough. It's just, you've got to have both. They can at least get it halfway, and especially from that super passive post plant position, they could just swap in. You know, I'll get it halfway, you get it halfway. That's unfortunate to see it go that way, because for Crazy Raccoons, we mentioned they lost the pistol round. They lost the majority of buy rounds. They still ended up 7-5. If they win this pistol here, they would have looked fantastic. But now, they're left down to an eco. But based on the track record, they're going to win this one, Tom.
And then again, this is a very, very safe round coming out from X10. They're just going straight in with all SMGs. No pistol saves, no risky business taken at all. They just want to make sure that they end up shutting down this round. And I'll be honest, I think they're gunning for that Prime Gaming Flawless.
Let's see if they can pull it off. They should be able to. Realistically, like, you look at that buy, it's classics right now. 4 classics remaining. Ghost already dealt with. And Patapan's low, but he can just avoid a fight. In fact, he should just avoid a fight at this point. Pops a cloud burst, pulls back on mid.
Have you met Patapan?
I have not.
Because I don't think he does that. Like, throughout this match, I can tell you there's one thing that this man does not do, and that is avoid fights. So,
nasty little Cam. Look at this. They don't even... Why would you look there? You wouldn't. You never would. But, oh, you probably should. With Sushi Boys, he's getting all the info. Oh, there's 2 guys here.
30 seconds
Can't see the other 2 on the right. He got a glimpse of Rion for a second.
Oh, there we go.
Now they've seen it. Now they've heard it. They know what's up. That lack of mid control for a second cost them a little bit, but there's the spams destroying the walls. Sushi Boy's able to get that done. Crows with another. It's a cleanup. The cleanup crew are here. 15 seconds left. And at least, I like it, right? An orb, not a poison orb, an ult orb taken for net secures some sort of a positive in this round.
Yeah, I really like that actually, the use of the aftershock. But we see a lot of shock darts actually used to try and counter out some of those positions. Of course, as said, it is going to be a Prime Gaming flawless round, so well played by them. But it's one of those things that like I feel like most teams are just trying to deny plants now rather than necessarily aggressively fight. We even saw that as an adaptation Fnatic had to made. It's like, okay, we'll go initially for deep B control, but eventually they went, okay, we're just going to sit passive and try and retake. Well, if you could just stop them planting altogether, it becomes a lot easier. And that's exactly what they did there with the aftershock, just making sure that, okay, if you want to plant this spike, you've got to tank a lot of damage.
Are they going to check the cam this time? Maybe not. 3 players spotted. This free information, man, it's huge. Sushi Boys has to come off it eventually. It's the same cam, identical, same position. Pulls off it. Here comes the recon through the peak by Sushi Boys as they turn to look at the recon. It's so good, baiting the utility. Ult goes down. So too does Sushi Boys. So too does Fox. What's happening here? Bit of over-aggression, perhaps. Crows, excuse me, pops out that flash, takes the kill to Neth. Gorgeous stuff, and now just buying time for his teammates to set up this double peak. Oh, I love that from X10. And a big mistake by Crazy Raccoons. They saw the camera last round, they heard it when he disengaged it, and they don't check the position even after. Okay, if you're not initially looking there, that's fine. You have a lot of angles to clear as you go forward, but for God's sake, check it when you're already through.
Yeah, that's definitely a slip up that they're gonna live to regret, especially considering that was a round where they basically just still had those SMGs from the previous round. So X10 have managed to get themselves a freebie, but don't worry, Mitch. They've got sheriffs. Crazy Raccoon, sheriffs equals win. That is what we have learned from this match so far. They have not been too successful with the rifles. Patapan, though, he's just taking control. I spoke about some of the setups they have on the defensive side. That wasn't a setup. That was just him going aggressively, finding a pick. Already 2 players up to the good. He's going to go back for more. Finally gets put down, but this is starting to become disrespectful. Zephyr, though, he's earned himself a Blade Storm.
And he has. This round gets very scary now all of a sudden. Speaking of which, Scary's got the Viper wall up. That's blocking a lot of control from Rion. He would have actually seen them crossing, and instead, it's taken down by Sushi Boys. So Zephyr's got it all to do. He's already picked up 2, and so it's the ace clutch that he's going to look for. I don't know how I feel about this one. The timing could have been huge. Sushi Boys looked away for just a moment, but now he's focused back on the angle. It might not matter. Zephyr gets it done. Rotating now into position. All of his utility still to play with. Full cloud bursts, dash, updraft, everything that he wants. But most importantly, he's refreshed those blades. 5 now back in his pocket and ready to fly at another enemy. Here's the steps coming through mid. The right clicks at this range. They're so dangerous, but they miss. And even the dash can't get him out of dodge. That's so bad, man. It went all around him. It was perfect. The RNG, it's just not there.
It always makes me think of that, like the Ali G clip where it just like sprays all the way around him. Like that's just heartbreaking because other than that, he did everything right, and that's not even really his fault.
So such a good
just
round.
Unlucky. So,
and I want to see that.
Played by Zephyr.
I want to see the right click in slow-mo. Look at you could see the knife. It actually cut the eyebrows of Crows. But he's able to get away with it. Disgusting. Disgusting. Breach doesn't have a ponytail anymore.
That's actually how I did my hair. Just someone threw knives at me, and well, it went a little bit wrong, but
it's one of my favorite things in the Ignition series. I think it was the Japanese guys had a thing where they were in the studio and like the Blade Storm came up on screen and killed the casters. It was sick. Oh, come on. What's this? What's it? He doesn't get the first. Like he saw Patapan's like a distraction play there for Crows to pick up the kill and then just drop shot somebody, which isn't something you'll see every day. So, well, maybe with like a Blade Storm, not with a Vandal.
You will not.
Patapan's flexing at this point. That's what I'm starting to learn, and maybe a little bit too much, trying to deny after the res comes through, but Crows goes down, back into a 4v4 situation. Crazy Raccoon definitely not out of this round. I got another sneaky cam set up. This is something, well, we see a lot over in EMEA from Nats. Just popping it early, sitting in the cam for pretty much the majority of the round, and just leaving it in a spot.
You should run.
It can make things a little bit more awkward, although he's going to have to move eventually. Just waiting for the cross to come in. he's going to get stuck in that ultimate if he doesn't go anywhere, and eventually the footsteps are going to be given, and he'll escape. The site will be taken, but they're going to have a very quick response. In fact, they could get in even before the plant comes down.
Yeah, I think especially with the tripwire on the right side, they know that nobody's going to be incredibly close as they come in, and the camera's still in line. This is actually pretty huge for X10. As they come in, they just dominate the duel straight away. Neth is able to pull off one, but immediately afterwards, he is shut down by Sushi Boys. Great round from the Cypher. His utility gave them a lot of information to play off of and freedom to go into the site, knowing the angles that were clear and knowing where the enemies were. 12-5 at this stage. And well, the sprays are doing justice. I mean, look, they are dominating Crazy Raccoons at this point.
This has been an excellent performance all around. Good utility usage, team play, retakes have been spot on as well. Like, there really hasn't been much, and there's been so many like little slip-ups coming through from the side of Crazy Raccoon today. I think they're not going to be too happy with how things have gone down, especially like the excuses go out the window now that it's their own map choice. It was back and forth in the first half. I can maybe forgive having a weaker defensive side, especially with how things have gone, but their attack has just looked a little bit flat. He's actually just missed him with the drone. Panaman just looks at it like, well, if you're not going to tag me with it, I'm not going to retreat. They've actually got a stack as well. Again, 3 players ready and waiting over on this A site. Panapan gonna pop the ult. They know that they can utilize this one and just dives through and just ruins Munchkin. Comes back for a little more. Panapan is styling a 3K again out of the Blade Storm. There's 2 players left. Make it just 1, Mitch.
That's done. It's done and dusted. Neth, he's been huge before. The Rolling Thunder to just secure it. Fox takes him out, but that's the kind of jet I was looking